Hi, this is Graham Jeacocke. Now, I uploaded a few videos on George Floyd, the American man who lost his life. Now, I got a response from an atheist who says, I'm just taking interest in these stories because I want to be known. So I thought I would make this video to give him the reason and not his opinion about what it was. Now, I used to work at Scotland. That's a bit like Sainsbury's, Asda, that kind of thing, but on a smaller scale. Now, at the time, we had no store manager, and we had temporary managers assigned. I mean, someone got promoted temporarily, they took charge. Now, the other interesting thing, our store, where it was located, was where Scotland held their, I don't know, 3 times yearly get-togethers. All the managers got together to discuss issues surrounding Scotland, how to become a better team, and we had to set up the room and all that. But this is where it gets interesting. Now, as I said, our store never had a manager. Now, so all these managers came in through the door, and one of them came in smiling and said, "Can you wash those windows?" And because I'm very humble, I serve, I do as I'm told, I obey, because it's good to do it. So I did, and nothing was made of it. Now, fast forward a little bit of time, and we got a new manager. Now, it was the manager that told me to wash these windows, or whatever it was, I can't exactly remember. Anyway, the first day he became officially our manager, he asked me to put out the rubbish. Now, I'm a very conscience-driven man. You see, you know the character from Independence Day, was Jeff Goldblum, and he was always recycling the plastic bottles. Well, that's what I did in my store. Every day I worked, I used to pick up the plastic bottles, put them in a bag, and then carry them home with me. My mum wasn't very she was impressed with the initiative, but she wasn't impressed with me having all these plastic bottles in my back garden. Now, getting back to this command of this manager, he said I had to put out the rubbish. But you have to understand, this was before the laws were changed. I was acting before the laws were changed. Right? So I says, no, we have to separate out the rubbish, because that's better for the environment. And I refused to put the rubbish in the bin. And the response was, he suspended me because I refused to obey him. Now, when the area manager of Scotland became involved, the argument they said, you never obey my instructions. Well, I'm a little bit like Columbo. I don't reveal everything going on. I let them make the mistakes, give them a false sense of security. You see, because you can either be a bad manager or you can be a good manager. I'm not saying any other skills of this manager were bad. I am saying the issue surrounding what happened was bad and how he acted. Now, after this, things got quite bad because, well, anyway, I got the job back, but there was a kind of resentment, and I was always on tenterhooks, because basically he didn't want me to work there because he wanted me, well, this is what he actually said, he wanted me to go on to benefits. Well, you don't want to work here, Graham. You can live off your benefits. Anyway, I took pride in my work. I was part of a team. I served. Now, after finally letting me go because of other issues which were relating to benefits from the government and the number of hours I could work, I had to resign. He made it quite clear I had to resign. Now, I'm just reminding you of the prophet Moses. Now, God declared him meek, declared him the most humblest. But even Moses killed. Now, obviously, God was describing humbleness in a different way to humans are defining it. I'm guessing that it's more to do with being a servant for God, knowing that he, just like the manager wanted me to obey him, God said to Moses, you are humble because you obey me. Now, so while this annoyed me that I had to give up the job, I wanted to work because working was important. Because that's how humans define you. They look to you and your job. Anyway, I found the area manager's email and I sent messages. and the things got out of hand. Now, I'm not proud of what I did, but at the same time, there are two issues going on. There is a sense of getting justice, right? They can't take that away from you, because that would be oppression. Now, I admit I went it all the wrong way, but the fact is that the idea behind it was not wrong. Now, unfortunately, this led to Scott Mid getting a little bit upset, and the police were involved. And this is where the reason for uploading this video, because I have experience of police and how they treat people or can treat people. I know every situation is different because every person is different. Every police officer is different. Anyway, six or seven policemen came to my house, and 3 or 4 came directly into my house, and they arrested me. And later I was charged and I appeared in the magistrates. And if you want to know what happened, just type my name in a search engine and you'll see a press article about how I sent abusive texts. Now, how does this relate to George Floyd? Well, I watched George Floyd's video of where he was getting arrested. Now, he has a very good argument that he was black and he didn't know how the police would treat him. Well, that's fair to say because you don't know. But then, if you look at all the TV celebrities, how tough they are with talking about the police. I mean, the black guy who did Family Feuds in America. Now, I remember one question, and he was laughing about how the police arrest black people. So, I mean, there's a blurry line about how black people see the police. Is it just the criminals that see the police as being bad, or is it anyway? Wait. George refused to comply with the police. I mean, he kept on complaining, I've not done anything wrong. But this is where I have to I don't like saying this because the man died, but I'm trying to make a point. When the police came to my door, I said to them, I knew you would turn up because I knew I had done something wrong. And I was prepared to take responsibility for my actions. Now, I didn't cause a scene. And I sat in the car and we were taken away. I was taken away. But this is the other issue with not complying. You know, in sports, you know, people can lose coordination. They can do things you don't expect. You can't anticipate how people move, and you can go into awkward positions. Now, I'm not saying this particular problem with kneeling on the neck was a result of that, but that can happen when you fail to be a servant to the police. All you have to do is hold out your hands or put them round your back as they command you. And the other point, I don't know if George had any extra force applied to him before that fateful day. But my experience was, now, this is related. I think this was related to the Scotland incident. I was arguing with my parents at my parents' house about not being able to work at Scotland, and my brother came round, and he's in the police, and after discussing things, I went home. But then the police came round because they wanted to have words with me. Now, this is where I know what police and what's the word I'm looking for? How much force can police use? That's the kind of thing. You see, the police and I had a discussion, and they got up to leave, and they were leading out the door, so they were in front of me, so they obviously didn't feel threatened by me. Anyway, I said underneath my breath, because I was talking about this manager, and I said, motherfucker. And they turned round, and they to make me disorientate me, they got me and shoved me into my wall. This wall here. That wall there. You see that wall? And, well, the thing is, I've got good discipline because, first of all, I've been raised in a Christian home. I don't cause problems unless there is a need to cause problems, because I always have the belief that the truth will get told. Call me naive, call me stupid. That's my hope. I believe in justice. I don't like being oppressed, so I always comply. You see, the police reacted badly, or that individual reacted badly. They didn't have to do that because they could see how I was standing. And anyway, they could have caused brain injury. Anyway, but this is all reflective of when I was later arrested by the police. I had that experience in the back of my mind, but I didn't react badly to the police, because I respected the law, I respected the police, and I believed I would get my story heard. You see, I don't know if George had experience of police not brutality. I mean, just experience, or he's just going by how others have received it. So this is why I was uploading the video, to put the man straight who was accusing me of just talking about George Floyd so I get more subscribers to my channel. You don't know me at all. You see, it is irony, because I'm going to go off the point here. Atheist musicians who do not support my channel but know what sight reading is, but who claim to like Bruce Lee, right? Well, Bruce Lee was a victim of racism. He was oppressed. Now, all these musicians who just ignore me and respect Bruce Lee, you're not respecting Bruce Lee at all, because you never respected me. You're letting the oppression continue. So I think we can all learn lessons. It is true we don't know how the police will act, and we don't know how the people that the police come to look at will react. But it's clear that the people the police have come to question or arrest have to comply. I mean, you're not in a position to you're not in a position to say you have no right to do what you do. They do have the right to do what they do, because that is the purpose of the law. Because in order to get law and order, you have to create a scene of chaos. And by chaos, I mean you have to get a conflict between the person being arrested and the police. It doesn't have to be a physically acted out chaos where it's just people they do not know what respect is. They do not know what discipline is. And I thank my parents for my Christian upbringing, because that is where I learnt discipline and respect. I mean, it'd be interesting to see how Mike Tyson what Mike Tyson would do if he got arrested. I mean, he's been arrested before. So let's compare Mike Tyson to George Floyd, or indeed any celebrity person who's black and been arrested, how they acted. I mean, I feel sorry for George that he died as a result of it, but if only he had submitted to the police, he would be here today. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Enjoy your day.